We've got young blood, can't destroy us.
So right now, there's scientists that are working to cure aging. What do you think about that idea? Do you think it's a good idea if we as a society could cure aging so that everyone could live indefinitely for as long as they wanted to? Assuming we could solve the problem of overpopulation.
I don't know. I don't think it's good or bad. I mean, if that's what they want to go for, then what the heck. I'm sure it'll not happen in my lifetime, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Well, why are you so sure about that?
Because, I mean, it just does not seem like a feasible thing that would happen.
Well, do you think death is inevitable then?
Yes.
You think your death is just inevitable?
Yes.
No way to get around it?
No, it's going to happen.
Well, you know, right now, a lot of people think it's very feasible and possible that we can actually cure aging and live forever. What do you think about that? Would you take it? Would you take it?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
No. I have to see all the evidence.
I see. Cool, cool. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure interviewing you.
Pleasure answering your questions.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, hello there. What are your thoughts on death? Does death bother you at all?
Not particularly, no. I kind of see death as like, in some ways, death is kind of like a way to get off the hook. You don't have to worry about any of the stresses of life anymore. No more anxiety. Honestly, kind of a peaceful release. But I guess for some more like super ambitious people, they might have things they want to accomplish before they die. And so that could make people want to delay that inevitability. For me, not that worried about it.
And do you think after death there's nothing?
I have to acknowledge that that is a possibility. I do have a faith that I choose to believe in, but there are definitely, I have to acknowledge that because I can't prove that a God exists,
yeah,
that everything I believe in could be bull, you know?
Yeah.
So I do acknowledge that, but I still choose to believe what I want to believe, mostly because I feel that it makes me a better person.
I see.
It has more positive impacts in my life than negatives. And I don't see anything wrong with believing in what I believe in.
Yeah, so you have faith, but you're technically agnostic because you don't know for sure. You sound like
I don't think that would make me an agnostic. I do believe that a God exists. I do have my faith, and it is specific.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, definitely not
agnostic. Agnostic just means you don't know for sure. So you can be
agnostic means that you choose not to believe. That you just choose not to believe. That's it. But for me, I choose to believe.
Right, now, what if in the scenario that you knew for sure there was no afterlife, would that change your opinion
Absolutely.
about death?
It would change my opinion about life more than it would change my opinion about death. I feel like I would definitely be more open to taking risks. Maybe some more experimentation that I wouldn't otherwise do.
If someone could give you the ability right now, if I could offer you the ability to live forever physically on this earth, would you take it?
Probably not, and I think the reason why I wouldn't take it is because whether there is something after death or not, if there isn't anything after death and I die, I wouldn't know the difference. I mean, I imagine everything would just kind of just go away. I would just cease to exist.
There'd be nothingness.
There'd be no consciousness.
And wouldn't you rather have the experience of being able to live forever rather than to have eternal nothingness?
Not necessarily, because I will never be aware of the eternal nothingness, and if I do live forever, I mean, anything can happen. I could go into a coma and be a vegetable my entire life and be in immense pain but not able to show it at all. I could have stresses and anxieties for the rest of my life that I would rather not deal with. So even in that respect, death is still a better option under those circumstances.
So being eternal nothingness is a better option than just being alive forever?
Depending on the circumstances, I think that is a possibility.
What about living forever in a relatively joyful state? You could be happy forever.
If I am truly happy, then I might have to rethink that question a little bit. But in my experience, even the things that I love eventually get boring. Things do get stale, and I feel like there's only so much you can do in the world, and to experience that eternally, like I feel like there would come a point where I would just be bored and not want to be here anymore.
Okay, last question. Have you ever heard of the term FOGO?
I've not.
It's fear of getting old. A lot of
Okay.
people nowadays have the fear of getting old because you look around and you see people with Alzheimer's disease, dementia. 1 in 3 people are getting dementia as they get older. And 1 in 3 people actually die of dementia.
Right.
So, would you say you have any FOGO, fear of getting old?
Yeah. And the only reason why is because there are still a lot of things in life that I want to accomplish. There are things that I wish I would have known 10 years ago that I would have done differently back then. I mean, I'm 29 years old and I'm basically just starting college. Had I been able to do that right out of high school and have the same perspective and the same beliefs that I have right now, then I think I would have had a much more enjoyable life.
Now, there are scientists right now who are trying to cure aging. They compare the human body to just a very advanced, complex machine, and that if we can fix all the little problems that go wrong in the human body, we could potentially live forever, extend our lives indefinitely, as long as we don't die from an accident or something like that. Do you think that's a good idea? And if that technology were to come along, would you take it?
Maybe. I'm having a hard time grasping that possibility. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I'd want to live forever. Like, circumstances vary too much, and I feel like at some point I'd either get bored or I would end up in some way a vegetable or something like that. So if there was a way to prolong my life in some kind of a youthful way, then yeah, I'd probably take that. But to indefinitely extend it, probably not.
So you think you'd eventually want to just end it?
Eventually, yeah.
So, what do you think about death? What are your thoughts on death? Do you have any fears at all about death?
Yeah, kind of just not fulfilling my beliefs on what I feel like I need to do before I die. Being scared of certain, like if you follow a belief of not like reaching your goals and then you die without reaching them, it's kind of a scary thought.
Yeah, so if someone could give you right now the ability to live forever physically on this earth, you've already heard of Aubrey de Grey, what he's trying to do. Does that sound like a good idea to you? Would you take that opportunity to live indefinitely?
Probably not. No, I wouldn't want to live here forever.
And why is that?
Because what I choose to believe, based off my religion, says that there's eternal life after death, so I believe that.
How sure are you that that's true?
Well, faith is not a fact, so you just gotta choose to believe it, so you can't really be sure.
So, if someone had the ability right now to give you physical eternal life, you wouldn't take it just because you have faith that there might be something afterwards.
Yeah.
But what if there's not and you get nothing? That doesn't frighten you at all?
That would, but that would go back to what my friend said. You wouldn't know. You'd be like, you wouldn't be conscious of that when you're dead because you wouldn't be alive to know.
So you're willing to risk it. You're willing to risk death even though there might be nothing. That doesn't bother you?
No, not so much, I guess.
All right. So I've talked about Aubrey de Grey. What do you think about the idea of what he's trying to do? Cure aging so no one has to get old. So anyone could live forever physically if they wanted to, as an option. What do you think about that?
Live forever? Well, would that include like living forever and then you could choose to die when you want to?
Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't have faith in an afterlife, so they think this life is the only life you get. So
I would probably choose to live as like to the point where I feel satisfied, where I feel like I've done my needs and like my goals and reached what I believe is my destiny, and then after that I'd be like, all right, it's time to go.
So you wouldn't take the technology, or you might, but then you'd eventually end your life anyways?
Yeah.
And do you think other people should have the option to indefinitely extend their lives for as long as they want to?
Yeah.
That should be an option for people?
Well, I mean, if they would want to, that would be an option. Yeah.
So you believe in God, right?
Yeah, I choose to believe in God.
So why do you think God allows aging, the suffering that comes with aging, and not only that, but all the other sufferings in this world. Why do you think God allows that? Why do you think He wants that to happen?
Well, I believe that people come and go, which is just what we've seen throughout the years as well too, but you learn from your mistakes, you suffer, and you learn from them as well. So maybe it's like something that like happens to you and then you learn off of it.
If you could take a pill that would let you live forever, you'd never have to grow old and die, would you take that pill?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I think I'd get bored.
Bored?
Yeah. I think that's too long.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So you don't think the technology of the future would be able to occupy your mind enough?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to see my family die.
Okay.
And like I wouldn't want to see my kids die or anything unless they took it too. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, what if they all
know.
took it too? Then would you?
I don't know. I'd like it'd have to be safe. I don't think I would do it. No, I really don't think I'd do it. No.
All right. So if there are people right now who are working to find a cure for aging, do you think that's a good idea, that we could just give all these people a chance to live indefinitely, so they never have to die? You think that's a good idea?
Well, I think right now it'd be more important to work on. Well, would this pill cure cancer?
Yeah, it would.
It would?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Heck yeah.
Go for it.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Cool. So what do you think happens after death?
I don't know. That's not really something I think about either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to guess, what would you say happens after death?
I don't think anything would happen to me or my spirit or anything. I think the world would just keep on turning.
So do you think you just stop existing?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Just stop existing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with, I don't really think about it. I guess I'm okay with it, yeah.
So do you have any fear of death whatsoever at all?
Yeah, I do. I don't want to die. But as far as fearing an inevitability, like I guess it's not really close enough for me to fear it. I guess because I don't really, I'm not terminally ill or anything like that, and I still am relatively young, so I don't really fear it yet. Okay. I'm sure I would eventually.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you really think that it's possible
Yeah.
Do you think that it's possible to cure something like that? Just a yes or no.
I do.